Hello and welcome to another episode of ECHE Music TV, where we provide tips, tools, techniques, and resources to help you grow your music ministry. Today, as you can see, I am not in the studio, but I am with you in spirit. I am actually pre-recording this today because on Sunday I will be at the beach with my best friend celebrating her birthday. But I didn't want to leave you hanging and didn't want to play a rerun. So today on the show, we are going to talk about how to get others to promote your music. But before we get to that, we're going to talk to Daniel Sanchez of Digital Music News about some of the stories that he's been writing, so we can catch up with what's happening in the music industry. We're going to start off our songs today with Never Let Go by William Tolson.
For me, all these years, yes you have. Can't stop loving you, oh no. And it's for real what I feel. Save me and you raise me. You've kept me through the years. Oh yeah, Lord, I thank you for all you've done. Oh yeah. Always the same. You never ever change. So incredible you are to me. Oh yes, you're with me through my storm. You protect me when things go wrong. Lord, I thank you for all you've done. He'll be your friend. He'll be there till the end. You just have to know he'll never ever let you go if you hold on. And never let go. Hold on. Ooh, I'm a witness. He'll be there. He'll take away all your sorrows, and he'll take away all your pain. Believe he'll do it, and watch God make it change. He'll bring you out. He'll bring you through. He did it for me. He'll do it for you. Don't give up. Don't give in. Hang on in there. You will win. Anybody know? Anybody know he's there? Oh yes he is. Oh yeah, yes he will, and I know he will. Just hold on.
Thank you so much,
Awesome.
Daniel, for being with us today on ECHE Music TV. I
It's
appreciate
a
your time.
pleasure.
So I want to do just like we did last time. Let's talk about some stories in the news and give my
Sure.
audience an insight to what's happening. So the first story is, did Takashi 69 fake his own kidnapping and robbery?
That's the major thing right now. Everybody's nervous in the music industry, especially with what happened to XXX Temptation. So everybody's very nervous about what's going on with these people, with these rappers, especially independent artists that are up and coming. So over the weekend, it looks like Tekashi 69 was allegedly kidnapped, pistol whipped, and robbed $750,000 worth of jewelry and about $15,000 to $20,000 in cash. Of
Oh
course, that's
my
very scary.
gosh.
It sounds very scary, but here's the thing. It wasn't widely publicized. The true source, which is given first to TMZ, they always manage to score everything first, which is, I guess, a good thing. A source told TMZ about this. It looks like it was a source close to the rapper. Unfortunately, it was unverified. Then later on, throughout the day, Tekashi 69 posted a picture of himself in the hospital. He looked pretty beat up, but not too
Wow.
bad, to be completely honest with you. I looked at the picture. He looked like maybe one or two punches in the face. Of course, nobody wants a punch to the face. So people immediately started taking to social media to ask them, hey, what's going on? This guy looks completely fine. And then new reports came out that his hospitalization was very short. So, I mean, this guy was pistol whipped, kidnapped, beat up, and then you just leave the hospital like just with a few scratches. So this producer, very influential. He's the founder of the Black Market Movement on Twitter. His name is Mozart. He tweeted, "Does anybody really believe this is Tekashi 69's story about him being kidnapped and robbed? He's doing this all to promote his mediocre Fefe record. I can't believe people are falling for this." And so that started getting people looking, hey, wait a minute. Maybe this guy did fake it because, Tekashi 69, he's just a regular rapper, but everybody's scared, everybody's frightened about what happened to XXX Temptation. So this guy, it makes sense if he all of a sudden publicizes this, if it's completely fake, and say, hey, you know what, um, I was robbed and this happened to me. But then why aren't there more witnesses? When did more people come forward with this? Plus, this guy has a very sleazy history. 2 years ago, it was found by Jezebel. They reported that he testified in court that he did use a minor, a female girl. I think she was about 13 years old, in a music video. He admitted to not abusing. So sorry about that one. About using a child in a sexual performance. I mean, a 13-year-old girl in a music video, very sexual. And that guy doesn't have a very good reputation. So Nicki Minaj and Future recently caught fire for adding him as a supporting act. Their fans have become very upset and they're asking that he be taken down. So this guy, we really don't know much about him, and all of a sudden this guy gets robbed, beat up, nobody saw it, he leaves the hospital right away. So it sounds fishy. May have happened, but it sounds very suspicious.
So it's pretty so he just doesn't have a great reputation. So
No.
that makes it all the more suspicious
Even with what happened
that
to
he would do
XXX
this.
Temptation, this guy was taken off. He was taken off Spotify because of their failed hate use and hateful conduct policy. And then he gets shot. He gets murdered. This guy, before he was shot, murdered, killed, whatnot, he was allegedly he was what would it say? he They claimed that he beat up his pregnant girlfriend at the time, and this guy was in and out of jail, and this guy had a lengthy criminal history. So you know right before he died, this guy was just all over the place, and then he dies, he becomes famous, everybody's remembering him.
Mhm.
And so Takashi may just be gaining on this one. Right time, fakes his own thing when his new album comes out. it just seems too suspicious, the timing. It really seems too suspicious.
Wow. So I guess we'll see what happens with that one.
Yeah.
So this next one, Drake earns over $1 billion in streaming services.
Yeah, so everybody right now, the music industry is experiencing a great revival that we haven't seen in years. CD albums, CD sales, digital album sales, they're plummeting. But then, thanks to the success of Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Amazon, and you have all of these companies going forward with this one. Drake, he's always been a sweetheart on streaming services. I mean, his last albums, he's broken records. I think in 2016, he held a very strong record all year. Post Malone ultimately took it. And then Scorpion comes out, and Spotify and Apple Music immediately promote his songs, and he's become so famous that people streamed. For example, on Apple Music, he has over 10 billion streams now, which is he's the first artist to achieve this record. On Spotify, Drake has 13 billion streams. So
Wow.
it sounds like $1 billion on streaming services with billions of streams. And sounds like a success story until you look at the physical sales. That's
Yeah.
another story.
Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, the physical sales are just pretty dismal across the board for everybody.
I mean,
I remember I was just at a conference last week, and everybody was kind of reeling over over the news that Best Buy has stopped selling CDs altogether.
yes.
So, um, but although for me, I feel like we already knew that this was happening,
Mhm.
and for a lot of for Christian indies, well, probably for most indies, they sell their CDs weren't selling in the stores anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
So
so
that's
really,
not
this
really
is
making
this is
hits.
not a change for them.
No.
They would sell most of their CDs when they perform. When they get on stage, they engage with the audience. They do a great job. People want to take them home. They want to take a souvenir home, and that's when they buy a CD.
Exactly. That's one thing I wanted to note right now. When you look at Scorpion, for example, this guy, he only sold 29,000 copies, barely in its first week, barely over 29,000 copies in the US. This is the lowest sales figure since Nielsen Music started tracking CD album sales in 1991. In the UK, according to a report from Music Business Worldwide, it looks like 99.9% of the UK population didn't purchase the album. So, you know, indies have always had great success, especially Christian indies. They sell, cassettes, CDs, vinyls have always gone against the grain in recent years. When you look at plummeting CD sales, album sales, digital download sales, they plummet for major artists. But it goes against the grain when you look at indie artists. They're actually doing much, much better. Bandcamp last year reported, skyrocketing physical format sales. So it makes you wonder, why are people buying more indie stuff, which is, of course, great news for Christian indie artists, but why are they now not buying so many physical albums or digital downloads for Drake, Post Malone,
Mm.
Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift? What's going on there? And what does this mean for the industry moving forward that Drake did so poorly physical sales wise? Of course, 1 billion is nothing to laugh at, say, oh, this guy's a failure. No, 1 billion just from streaming, that's a major success story.
Yeah, that's
But
pretty
it leaves
good.
big questions unanswered going forward.
Hmm. So let's see. Another story. Congress passes the Pirate Act. Now, this is something that everybody can really feel the effect of. Is that right?
Well, this is a bipartisan support. So the U.S. House of Representatives unanimously passed H.R. 5709, which is the Preventing Illegal Use of Radio Through Enforcement Act, or the Pirate Act. So everybody's going to feel it. So states, local law enforcement officials, they can now fine up to $100,000 per day per violations when they find people operating illegal pirate operations, and that's up
Okay.
from 10,000.
So it seems like, and this is rare these days that our Congress does anything bipartisan. So this is, I think that's a boon for the music industry.
Oh, yes. It gives them the tools they need in order to crack down on illegal pirating stations.
Well, one other story I wanted to get to before we
Sure,
run completely out of time is
sure.
the Sonic Music UK signs the Kingdom Choir. That's the choir that sang at the wedding, at the royal wedding, right?
Correct. Correct. They did such a magnificent job. The Kingdom Choir performed so well. Everybody talked about them on social media. Everybody loved hearing from them. And so Sona Music says, hey, we need these guys. And this comes ahead of the group's debut album, which will drop on November 2nd. And so everybody's pretty excited about what they have to offer.
What a coup for them. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Daniel, for being with us today
On the
and
contrary,
for sharing your expertise. And we look forward to seeing you again next time.
of course, have a wonderful day. It's a pleasure to work with you, Simone. Have a great
Great.
one.
Thank you, Daniel, so much for taking the time to sit down with me and catch me up with what's been happening in the music industry. And now we're going to go to this wonderful rendition of Soon and Very Soon by Paula and Angie.
Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Hallelujah, 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 going to see the King. No more crying there. We are going to see the King. No more crying there. We are going to see the King. No more crying there. We are going to see the King. Hallelujah, 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 going to see the King. Hallelujah. hallelujah, 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 going to see the King.
Hey, female musicians, are you looking for support and help with your music career? My name is Bree Noble, and I want to invite you to join us in the Female Indie Musician Community. It's a free group on Facebook where we provide networking, resources, and support for female indie artists in all genres. So join us over at woscommunity.com. That's woscommunity.com to join the group, or look for Female Indie Musician Community on Facebook. See you inside.
Wasn't that a wonderful rendition of Soon and Very Soon? I really like that song. I think that is going to go into my collection. So now I want to talk to you about some ways that you can get others to promote your music. One way is to submit your music to music blogs. Do a search online, and I did this before, and did a search for Christian music blogs. And what you can do is find blogs that cover your style of music and send out emails to the bloggers to see if they're interested in promoting you and your music. There's lots of blogs out there, so more than likely there'll be a blog out there that fits your style of music. Another way is to collaborate with other musicians. When you collaborate with other musicians, you get your music in front of a new group of people that may never have heard of you before, and grow your fan base exponentially. Just make sure that when you're promoting your event that all the artists that are working together on the collaboration are promoting. Otherwise, it won't work that well, because you'll get more of one artist's fans and not the other. And then it wouldn't be a win-win for everyone. Another way is to hire a PR firm. Now, this way takes money, but it's a great way to get your music and information out to a lot of people at once. PR firms tend to have large mailing lists and lots of contacts. Another way, the final way we're going to talk about, and we talked about this at the IGAA conference, and we talk about it every year, is to build relationships. And of course, as you're building your fan base, you're building relationships with your fans. This is your community that you build around your music and your ministry. But you don't only want to build relationships with your fans. You also want to build relationships with other industry executives and industry entrepreneurs, like promoters, radio stations, and even other artists. Because the more you do that, the more they will talk about you and promote your music. Actually, just last night, I was on Facebook, and an industry friend of mine was promoting some people that he wanted me to vote for as a member of the GMA. Right now, its first round ballot is out for the GMA, for the Dove Awards. And he's been promoting, he posted a few names that he'd like me to consider, and a couple of the names I hadn't heard of. So now I'm interested to see who they are. So when you build relationships with other industry professionals, they share your information with people in their circles. So that's a great way for other people to promote your music. Thank you so much for listening and for being with me today. I am going to start packing for the beach. But don't forget to visit the website, tv.echemusic.com. That's ECHE music.com. And when you go there, you can submit your video, submit your song for airplay. And also, there's a link there where you can suggest topics for the show or guests that you'd like to see me interview. And also a way for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I look forward to seeing you again. And before we go, we're going to listen to Anything by Reggie McClurkin. See you next time.
I will do anything for your will, for your way, Lord, today. Oh yeah, I will do anything for your will, for your way, Lord, today. I'll sing a song of praise for your will, for your way, Lord, today. I'll sing a song of praise for your will, for your way, Lord, today. I will go anywhere for your will, for your way, Lord, today. And I will go anywhere for your will, for your way, Lord, today. I will testify of your will, of your way, Lord, today. Yeah. I will testify of your will, of your way, Lord, today. I will tell someone of your will, of your way, Lord, today. I will tell someone of your will, of your way, Lord, today. I'm shouting victory for your will, for your way, Lord, today. I'm shouting victory for your will, for your way,
Thank you for watching ECHE Music TV. Be sure to subscribe to this channel so you never miss an episode. To receive the free gift mentioned in this episode or to have your song featured, please visit us at tv.echemusic.com.